All right, we are going to go over how to do two-step equations. We've done this before in class, but it's been quite a bit of time, so I'm going to go over it slowly with you guys. The first box here, we're just going to review one-step equations. The reason why they're called one-step is because there's only one operation happening, so those seem to be pretty simple. So in the video that you watched previously, you were taught to put a line down the equal sign there. We want to do the opposite of what's going on here. This is a subtracting 8, so the opposite of subtracting 8 would be adding 8. Whatever we do on one side, we have to do on the other side to make it balance. These go away. They're called zero pairs because negative 8 and positive 8 go to 0. That gives me n equals negative 3 plus 8. Signs are different, so I subtract, take the sign of the larger number. N equals 5 in this case. The next one, same thing, multiplication happening between these two numbers. So I'm going to do the opposite, which would be to divide. I'm going to divide by the number that's in front. That's a 2. Make sure you bring the negative with it. So I divide by negative 2 on this side. Multiplying by 2, dividing by 2 is just like subtracting 8 and adding 8. There's zero pairs, so they go away. And then negative 24 divided by negative 2 is going to give us m equals 12. And then the last one here is division. This is division, so we multiply. Opposite of division is multiplication, so I'm going to multiply by 2 because if I divide by 2 and multiply by 2, those are opposite. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, which is going to give me m equals negative 14 because I have a negative and a positive. Multiplied if I use sleeping man, then I have a negative and a positive, so I end up with a negative answer. So those are one-step equations. You just simply look at the operation that's happening and you do the opposite. Now when we get involved in two-step equations, it gets a little more complicated. Here it really does a great job of listing out the steps that you have to take. You have to undo the addition or subtraction first. So we don't even care about multiplication, division. We want to undo the addition and subtraction first. So we do that here by subtracting 12 because it was adding. So I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. This gives me negative 5y plus 12 minus 12 goes away. 32 minus 12 is 20. Then I want to undo multiplication or division. Well, this is being multiplied, so to undo it, I do the opposite. So I'm going to divide. Make sure you carry the sign with it. Negative 5 and negative 5 go away. That gives me y by itself. 20 divided by negative 5 is negative 4. And if you wanted to check to make sure your answer was right, you could put negative 4 back in right there. And you could multiply negative 5 times negative 4, which is 20. And then I would add 12 to that, which would give me 32. So I know that my answer of negative 4 is correct. Okay, let's go ahead and look at these down here. These are some more two-step problems. This first one right here, we want to just put our line down. Remember, we're undoing addition or subtraction first. So I see the negative 8 or subtracting 8 here needs to go first. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. So I get 6m equals 16 plus 8 is going to give me 24. Now I'm down to a one-step equation. I know that 6 and m are being multiplied. So instead of multiply, I'm going to divide in order to undo it. And I'm going to get m equals 4. Again, if you wanted to check your answer, you could take this 4, plug it back in here. 6 times 4 is 24, minus 8 would be 16. Okay, if we look at this one here, what we're trying to undo is the subtraction or addition first. We can't get rid of this 8 because it's being multiplied. So that we can't take care of that first. We have to take care of the 6. Now, if you think about it, this is a positive 6, and the only way to get this positive 6 away is to subtract 6. Even though there's a subtraction sign behind it, it's the sign that's in front that we care about. So those go away. That gives me negative 8x equals, make that a 12, make that a 1, and that's going to give me 16. Divide by negative 8 on both sides. So I get x equals negative 2. equals negative 2 would be the correct answer for that one. Okay, and then we go down to the last two. Take care of addition or subtraction first. I know that I'm adding 3, so I'm going to have to subtract 3. I get k divided by negative 3. These are 0 pairs, so they go away, equals negative 5. Now this is division, so to get rid of division, I multiply. This is a multiplication symbol, and I'm going to multiply by the negative as well because I want the negatives to cancel as well. So those go away. I'm going to multiply by the negative 3 over here. So k gives me positive 15, because remember Sleeping Man tells us that a negative times a negative makes the positive. Okay. Now this last one is a kind of more of a challenge, but it's nothing that we can't do. If you'll notice, this 1 and this x, I can kind of rearrange it. I can rearrange it to say 1x over 3, like this, plus 3 equals negative 2. Now, if I have one pencil or I have a pencil, I have the same amount of pencils. We've done this example several times in class. So I can rewrite 1x to just say x over 3 plus 3 equals negative 2. So basically, I just rewrote it to look like this, put the x with the 1, and then I said, oh, well, 1x is the same thing as just saying x. Now this looks like a problem I can take care of because I can subtract 3. So I get x over 3 equals negative 5. Sides are the same, so I add and keep the sign. Multiply by 3 on both sides. And so I would get x equals negative 15. And you can plug that answer back in to check it. Okay, the next page is your practice worksheet. You need to complete 1 through 6. You do not have to do questions 7 or 8. So if you'll complete on this worksheet right here, if you'll complete 1 through 6 and then submit it in Google Classroom so that I can grade it, and then hopefully you do wonderful on it. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always rewatch the video if you need to.